Hello everyone. In the last video, we were successfully able to run Atlantis server. Now let's see the checklist items. So we have configured the GitHub authentication. We have configured the Atlantis server. Now only two things are left. We have to write Terraform code. I think that we will do in the last. Now it's the turn for GitHub Webhook configuration. So let's see how to do that. So as per the documentation, you can see they have provided the steps to configure a webhook for different Git providers. For this video, we'll be sticking to GitHub only, but you can check this link to configure the things for other Git providers. So let's go on to our repo. Let's go to settings. Then let's click on webhook. From here, click on add webhook. Here you will have to specify the details. Let's see what details we have to give. So from the documentation we can see like they are saying my payload URL will look something like this. So they are saying I have to add /events in the end. Whatever URL I have configured in the Atlantis server command, I have to add /events in the end, and after that content type will be application JSON, and I have to specifically enable these 4 events. So let's do that. This was my URL which I configured on the server. Let's add events also in the end. Content type should be application JSON. We also have configured a webhook secret when we were configuring Atlantis. So now we have to paste the same secret here, which we generated using some OpenSSL command. So this was my secret. Now I don't have to enable all the events. So let me select the individual events from here. And in the documentation they say like I need to enable only these 4 events: pull request reviews, pushes, issue comments, and pull request. So let's enable all of them one by one. So this is issue comments, pull request reviews, pull request, and pushes. These are the 4 things which we have to enable. Let's save it. Now in order to confirm whether this webhook is working or not, what we have to do is just click on it. Go to this recent deliveries section and you can see a green tick here. You can expand it also, and it says like response was 200. So my Atlantis responded to the webhook with a 200 status code, which means like it is working perfectly fine. Now if you remember earlier, we exposed this port 4141 for the public internet, but I don't want to do that. Let's restrict that a bit. So currently the situation is anyone can open my Atlantis on port 4141. So we want our Atlantis to be open only for GitHub. Rest, no one should be able to open Atlantis directly. So for doing that, what we'll do, we'll whitelist this Atlantis server only for the GitHub IP addresses. To get the GitHub IP addresses, we have to hit the meta IP of GitHub. URL is api.github.com/meta. The moment you will hit it, you will get a detail of all the IP addresses which are used for different purposes. And if you will see, for hooks we have to whitelist for these IP address ranges. So let's enable our security group so that it is only accessible for these ranges. So let's copy these IP addresses one by one. Go to our AWS account, go to the security group. Earlier, if you remember, this was open for the complete internet. So this port 4141 was open for 00. So let's remove that and let's add these ranges one by one. Cool. So now I have added all the ranges for port 4141. So now what will happen? Only GitHub will be able to communicate with my Atlantis server. No one else will be able to access it. Let's check that. So from my GitHub webhook, let's retry. I can redeliver this webhook using this redeliver button. Let's do that. So you can see the second delivery also got successful. I can see a green tick here. Let's see the response also. Yeah, so Atlantis responded me with a 200 status code. Now let's try to open that Atlantis directly on the browser, which I was able to do earlier. Let's try to do a refresh here, and if you will see, it will keep on rolling here. This will not open because I have blocked Atlantis only for the GitHub IP ranges. Now no one should be able to directly hit my server. I'm secure. Now what else you can do? You can enable one more layer of security, which I would recommend to enable SSL on top of your Atlantis server. You can simply do that using certbot, but I will not cover that in this series. You can do that separately. You can see I'm not able to open it. Let's try to open it in a separate tab so that we are confirmed it is not open for others now. Yeah, so still it is keep on rolling. So this webhook part is also done. Now we will be directly jumping onto the Terraform code, and we'll see how we will work with Atlantis. See you in the next video.